After uploading 43 videos to YouTube, here is exactly what I've learned. No fluff, no sugarcoating, and some of this might sting. If you're a new YouTuber, this is going to save you months of frustration. I'm not a guru, I'm just sharing the honest truths that I wish I'd known before I got started. Right, let's jump in. Number 1, nobody cares. That's right, when you first publish your first video, no one is really going to watch it, or if anyone does, it's maybe going to be 2 or 3 people at most. I was worried about how I looked, how I sounded, if I came across awkward, all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, those first few videos are just your freedom to just get practicing and worry about getting good later. Which brings me on to point number 2, which is do not worry about imperfection. If you are striving for perfection before you start, the truth is you're never going to get started. You're always going to be making bad videos in those early stages. You just have to keep publishing them and keep practicing until you get good. Number 3, it's okay to make mistakes. So when you publish that first video, you're probably going to play it back and you're going to cringe at yourself. You're going to realize that you fluffed your lines, you're going to realize that you could have done things better, you maybe weren't perfectly in frame, and that doesn't matter, that's just all part of the learning curve. So give yourself permission to suck in those first few videos. Number 4, don't pretend to be your favorite YouTuber. Chances are when you've been watching other people on YouTube, you've probably stumbled across a few people and you've thought, wow, I really like how they deliver their videos, I wish I was just like them. But the truth is that you want to be just like you. Just remember, the likelihood is no matter what niche you're in, whatever you're talking about in your videos probably isn't the first person to talk about that. What makes your video unique is your own perspective and your own delivery of that content. Plus, if you try and be like somebody else, it's going to come across as non-authentic and people can see right through that. What's really going to attract people to your channel and get them to stick around for more is you being you. Number 5, YouTube growth is a slow burn. What do I mean by that? So, you've probably heard lots of people on YouTube talking about how you can go viral overnight on YouTube, but the reality is it just doesn't work that way. Most people have to have a very slow and steady growth until they get to the point where they consider themselves a success. Be prepared for it to take time. Number 6, do not set goals. I thought it would be cool to get my first 100 subs, and when I did, all I wanted to do was get to my next 100 after that. Rather than putting too much focus and energy on goals, just focus on the content and just let those milestones come in their own good time. Number 7, don't compare yourself with other creators. We've all had that little bit of creator envy from time to time. We see these other people with their channels that are bigger than ours and think that they're doing so well and think, if only I could get to that point. But the reality is you don't know what they've done to get themselves to that point. They could have bought subscribers, they could have hired a whole team of people to help edit their videos, which if you had that, you'd probably get that faster growth as well. YouTube isn't a competition competing against other people. It's about running your own race. Take those creators that you look up to and take inspiration from them. Don't get envious of them. You do your thing and let them do theirs. Number 8, YouTube life is a roller coaster. By that I mean you're going to have good days and bad days when it comes to YouTube. So what's a good day look like? A good day is that you go out, you record a video without any kind of hiccups, you publish it and it blows up. A bad day could be that you go off into the middle of the woods to record your video and realise that you've run out of battery. Or you publish that video with high hopes and realise that it's absolutely flopped. My point is that you're going to have good and bad days throughout this YouTube journey, but you just got to learn to take the bad days on the chin and just move on, and hopefully tomorrow's going to be a good day. Number 9, gear doesn't matter. You've probably watched 1,000 YouTube videos of polished creators who have got fancy studios, fancy cameras and microphones and lights, and you think, I can't start until I've got all that stuff. It's not true. If you've got a smartphone that isn't more than 5 years old, a quiet, well-lit room, then that is all you actually need. Don't be fooled into thinking that you need lots of expensive fancy gear. The quality in the video really lies within the content that you put in the video. So if you're working on a very small budget and you think that you can't do it, you can. Hi, I just want to take a brief pause in this video to tell you about something I'm really excited about. I've created this free 6-step YouTube starter strategy guide that you can download for free in the link in this video. It shows the strategy that I applied to start my channel. And if you're just getting started or if you're only a few videos in, I think you might find it useful. Okay, back to the video. Number 10, audio, audio, audio. So yeah, in point number 9, I did say that gear doesn't matter, but if you've got any kind of small budget to work with, I would prioritize a good microphone over anything else. Really good audio is probably one of the most important things to try and encourage users to hang around and watch your videos. If your audio is crisp, then it's going to really try and help to encourage that viewer to stick around and listen. And you don't have to spend a fortune on a fancy mic. You can get just a lav mic that plugs into your phone for like £20-30, and that is good enough. So if you're sitting with next to no budget and you think that you have to buy all this gear before you can get started, that's just absolute nonsense. Number 11, check, then check again. The amount of times since I've started this channel where I've gone to record my video, got myself in that frame of mind, only to realise that I've left an SD card at home, or my battery's on like 3%, or I forgot to switch my microphone on. Be prepared, make sure everything's nice and fully charged before you go out to record that video. And when you're setting up, make sure everything's switched on properly and make sure all your settings are dialed in before you start speaking. Trust me, there is nothing more frustrating than speaking to a camera lens for 20 minutes only to realise you hadn't hit record, or that your microphone wasn't switched on and the audio sounded awful. Number 12, don't obsess over editing. In those early stages, you're going to have enough on your mind trying to get videos published without having these really killer edits in your video. If you can make some basic edits to cut out some of the fluff, then by all means go for it. But if you still haven't figured that side of it out yet, don't let that stop you from publishing your first video. Leave in the mistakes, it doesn't matter. That's what gives you authenticity. That's what makes you relatable to your audience. YouTube can be a steep learning curve, so prioritize the other things for getting started and worry about editing a bit later. Number 13, packaging first. So what do I mean by that? Everything I've learned so far in my time on YouTube is that you come up with your title, your thumbnail, and your hook, those precious first 10 seconds of your video, first before you actually hit record. Why do we do that? It helps to give our video a North Star. Your title and thumbnail are a promise to that potential viewer that if they click on the video, this is what they're going to get. And by having that locked in first and having that initial 10 seconds locked in, what that does is help keep your video on course. It harmonizes the whole thing. The title and the thumbnail and the content of the video are all working together as a nice little bundle for you to give to the viewer. Number 14, quality trumps quantity. When I first started, I thought that I had to spew out as much content as possible. I was like, right, I'm going to do 3 videos a week. But then you realize that actually, I don't have enough time to do all that. If you're like me, you're probably trying to do YouTube on the side of a full-time job, maybe even looking after a family. So where are you going to find time to do these 3 masterpiece videos? Sure, you might churn out 3 videos every week, but if the quality is not there, then it's not going to attract viewers and the channel's not going to grow. Prioritize quality. If that means 1 video a week, then so be it, but put your heart and soul into that 1 video. Don't rush it and it won't come across rushed to the viewer. By giving each video the attention it deserves in terms of its title, its thumbnail, and the actual content of that video, people are going to appreciate that when they view it, and they're going to stick around and watch it for longer. And guess what? They might even be more inclined to subscribe to your channel as well. If you record 3 videos in a rush, they're going to come across rushed when someone watches those back. And it's going to put them off, and they're probably not going to see that viewer again. So the whole kind of 3 videos a week for fast growth is kind of a bit of a red herring. Focus on quality, not quantity. Number 15, take breaks. You'll see a lot of YouTube gurus on YouTube that are telling you that if you skip a week of not publishing a video, the algorithm is going to banish you. It's simply not true. Sure, if you go through a lengthy period of time without publishing a video, YouTube is probably going to start to lose that trust that it can rely on you to publish regular content. But a week off isn't going to do anybody any harm. In fact, it's going to do you the world of good. Taking a week off from YouTube every so often to be in the here and now is going to be good for you. Not everything has to be about your YouTube channel. And it's amazing what a week off will do in terms of you coming back in with a fresh perspective and fresh ideas. Number 16, don't be a stranger. What do I mean? YouTube can be a fairly lonely experience. It can be quite isolating when you first start and you don't have any subscribers yet. But there's lots of other creators just like you out there, some within your own niche, some in the kind of whole YouTube creator niche that are having those same struggles as you are. If you join communities by connecting with people, commenting on their videos, joining their live streams and talking to them real time, this can really help build a community. and it's a really good support network for you as you find your feet on YouTube. Number 17, consider going live. As I've just touched on, community is a huge part of YouTube, and if you're not tapping into that, then you're missing a trick. One way that you can build community through your own channel is by going live. It helps to show your viewers the real persons behind all these videos. It helps you connect on a deeper level because they can ask you questions in real time for you to answer. Not only that, but it's great for watch hours. So if you've got one eye on AdSense and getting monetized, then watch hours through live streams can really help boost you and get you there quicker. Number 18, always put the viewer first. It's a common trap that we fall into. We get these ideas for videos, we get excited about them, we make them and publish those videos. But did we actually consider whether this is something that our viewers would like to watch? Remember, if you're trying to grow your channel, you're not making videos for you, you're making them for your audience. So you should always start with your viewer and reverse engineer from there. Think about your viewer. What question is it that they need answered that you can answer? What problem is it that they need solved that you can solve for them? Start with that and work your way back. Number 19, avoid analysis paralysis. Don't start going down rabbit holes with the YouTube Studio app and over-analysing how your videos have performed in the past. It's easy to obsess and dwell on these videos that you've already put out there. But the reality is, once those videos are out there, they're there. All your energy and time is better spent focusing on the next video. Once a video has been live for a couple of days, give it a quick glance, check the click-through rate, check how many impressions it's had, check the average watch time, and then learn from those things. If the click-through rate's low, maybe you need to work on your titles and your thumbnails. If the average watch time's low and people are bouncing after 10 seconds, then you maybe need to start thinking about your hooks. But beyond that, don't get too bogged down in the analytics. You can get really deep with it. In actual fact, especially when you're just starting out, all your energy is best spent just working on that next video. Number 20, experiment. If you make your first video and it doesn't do that well, and you just keep making videos in that same kind of way and never change it up at all, then you're probably never going to get that traction that you're looking for. Don't be afraid to try new things, especially in those early stages, because you don't know your viewer yet and you don't know what it is they like. Over time, study your videos. What did your viewers respond well to? Pick those things and lean into them. What did they not react so well to? Maybe think about those things and think about how you can change them. Mixing things up keeps it fresh for you and for your viewer. Okay, number 21, have fun. If you're not enjoying the process of creating these videos, then the chances are you're going to struggle to stick it out. So if you want to grow your channel, it's important that you enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. As I said earlier, throw yourself into the community side of it as well. Enjoy yourself, and if you do that, that should come across in your videos, and hopefully people will really resonate with it. In conclusion, YouTube isn't a straight path. It's messy, unpredictable, and kind of addictive. But if you stick with it, you will get better. And you might even start to enjoy the chaos. Okay, if you're still watching, thanks so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. If you've got any other questions about getting started in YouTube whatsoever, drop them in the comments. I'll answer every single one, I promise. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.